In the official category and in the media category, we don't necessarily have an inductee every year. It depends on circumstances, who's nominated, who's not. But we have a very distinguished member of the longtime member of the El Paso media community that richly deserves induction in the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame. Came back from the University of Texas after growing up in El Paso and began hosting in 1996 radio sports talk, KROD, that time, or later became the Big 600. It's now ESPN Radio El Paso. It's a long and enduring talk radio program for sports talk in El Paso, and I'll tell you, any sort of talk radio that lasts in El Paso, that is a challenge, right, Brad Dubois? And to have that kind of career and that kind of legacy and long-standing and running career, you don't do it unless you're damn good, you know what you're doing. And during his career, I could go on and on with the people that he's interviewed. Chick Hearn, Vin Scully, Jack Buck, Kurt Gowdy, those are just broadcasters. Red Auerbach, Johnny Bench, George Foreman, Sugar Ray Leonard, Layla Ali, Bart Starr, Ray Nitschke. These are just a few of the names of people that have been nominated that this individual has brought into our homes, into our cars, as we've listened to these interviews through the years. He also hosted the Don Haskins Show, of which he's most proud. That was 3 years after Coach Haskins had retired from basketball. And along the path, he developed the ESPN El Paso Sports and Get Fit Expo, which is an annual event at Sunland Park Racetrack. This year, Des Bryant was present. In the past, we've had Pete Rose, we've had Earl Campbell, we've had Roberto Duran. He's booked them, he's brought them here. It's a first-class, world-class event. In these athletes are coming to El Paso because of our next inductee. He's had a rich play-by-play history, doing play-by-play for New Mexico State. He's worked with UTEP Athletics. He's worked with Buzzards, Time Warner. He's worked every TV station in town except mine. I don't know what's going on there, but KBC, KPSM, and KFOX. His father, Joel, was elected in the El Paso in the posthumous category a few years ago. He used to play basketball with Joel, brother Matt, and the other Kaplowitz brother, and Steve. And I tell you what, we had some great games, and we've shared some great times. You know, the thing about it, and I think what makes his success in sports talk and why he has this enduring legacy, is he has the capacity to connect and communicate. He doesn't diss the callers, and he doesn't disparage what people may say, and sometimes they say stupid things, but he has a way of relating to them and welcoming them into our homes, into our cars, and making people feel special. He has that knack, and that is what has carried him so far, and why I'm so proud to call him a friend, and the newest member of the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame, Mr. Steve Kaplowitz.
Thank you all. It's great to be here tonight, and as we have been hearing from all of our other inductees, and it's an incredible class this year, coaches, athletes, officials, and in a moment in the posthumous category. Congratulations to all of you, to your families, and believe me, everybody here knows just the amount of significance and contributions that you've made to the El Paso sports scene, and I, like a lot of people here, are very grateful to that. And for the high school athletes, incredible, because it wouldn't surprise me if a few of the names we honored here in the next 10, 15, 20 years are going to be up here and getting honored the exact same way and being enshrined permanently in the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame. Mr. Ray Sanchez, you're in the back. You told me last year you were going to nominate me, and I wasn't going to hold my breath at that time, but you exactly lived up to your words. You are a terrific individual. You are an icon and a legend here in El Paso, and you mean the world to me, to my family as well, and to the entire sports landscape. And I just want to tell you again how grateful I am that you nominated me and were able to get me in to the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame. So for that, I'm definitely very grateful. It's funny, you know, over the years, I kind of look back on how things started, and we came to El Paso from New York, from Long Island in 1978, and my dad used to tape a lot of us on an old cassette player. years back. He taped music, and he taped sports, and he taped us. So recently I went back and I listened to some of these old tapes, and sure enough, one said, Stephen, 3 years old. So I popped it in the cassette player, figuring, oh, let's hear what I had to say. And besides singing happy birthday to myself and really knowing the ABCs, I decided to do a little play-by-play for baseball and hockey at the age of 3. I thought that was kind of strange. Maybe you know your calling at a very young age, and apparently for me, my calling wasn't manning right field for the New York Mets like I dreamed as a kid, but instead it was right here behind one of these microphones and getting a chance to get involved in radio. It started for me in college, and when I graduated, I was looking for a job. I came back to El Paso, and I interviewed with KLAQ Radio at the time, but they didn't have a position for me. So I was thinking about going back to school, getting a master's degree, and then they called me and said, you know what, would you like to have an internship? And I thought, what does that mean? Well, you don't get paid. You don't get paid in radio anyway, so that'll be fine. I'll take that internship. So sure enough, it was the summer of 1995, I started working on a rock morning show doing sports. And my attitude was, do anything you could possibly do to break into the business, anything. That meant dressing up as Elmo and being involved in an armored truck hijacking where they interviewed me on the news in an Elmo costume, so be it. It's all about breaking into the business. If it meant wearing a jacket with money taped to the jacket, jumping out of a car and letting everybody grab at you to grab money in honor of Christmas and the holidays, gotta do it. Gotta break into the business, so that's how we did it. If it meant going out on a golf driving range 100 yards away and letting golfers tee off at me, trying to hit me in the head with a golf ball to win rock concert tickets, hey, you gotta do it. So for 2.5 years, I endured the hell of that morning show, loved every minute of it, and then sure enough, it was the summer of 1997, and John Teicher, who had spent the last 5 years hosting Sports Talk, was moving on to another radio station, and they called me in and asked me if I would want to host Sports Talk. And at that time, I had already started with a weekend show on the AM station, KROD, and could not pass up that opportunity. And I was just hoping I wasn't going to get fired taking over Sports Talk, because I was 24, John Teicher was a legend in El Paso, and everybody at the radio station was probably holding their breath thinking, well, it's been nice, it's been a great run, and we'll have to let this show go in a few months. Well, in June, or July actually, it'll be 16 years that I've hosted Sports Talk here in El Paso, and thank you. And sometimes in life, if you find something you love, you just don't want to let it go. And sports has been my passion ever since we can remember. As a family, we took vacations around sporting events. My poor father tortured my mother forever, and myself and my twin brothers were all loving all of that. We love sports. We played it growing up, baseball, basketball, and it's a part of us. So this job has been a dream come true. This honor is unbelievable, and I would never have guessed ever being into the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame and being part of a class like this. I just wanted to do what I love to do, and it's been just a great journey so far. But there are a lot of people to thank. My radio station bought a table here. They are right in front of me. So I want to thank my general manager, Brad Dubow, for putting up with me all these years and giving me an opportunity not only to make my career in on-air radio, but also in sales, where I can actually make real money. So thank you, Brad. And I also want to thank just the whole group, everybody. It's my second home, folks. Outside of my house, I've been there almost half my life. So my radio station, KLAQ, KISS, KRD, that's really what it's all about. It's family, and they've meant the world to me. I've worked with so many great people over the years. I started in radio with Duke Keith and then Andy Quintana, and then I had a chance to work with Rich Spitaleri. All of them some of them are still in El Paso, some have left. But then Robert Garcia. I worked with Jeff Flint. I've worked with Quentin Martinez. I worked with Andy Lee for 4 years. And
lucky you.
Very lucky me. You're right about that. I got to put up with you for 4 years until you had your own show. So I'm excited about that. And now most recently, Chad Middleton, who has been great as well. So that's part of my radio station family. But we also have my family as well. My mom, who is here tonight, and you always tell me how proud of me you are, and I know it, and I love you very much, and I'm so happy you're here tonight. My brother Matt, who made it in from Pittsburgh with his family, thank you for making the long trip out here. My other brother Aaron is not coming in until the weekend, but I'm still looking forward to seeing him. My in-laws as well, my father-in-law Willie, my mother-in-law Mila, and my brother-in-law Christian. And there's a guy sitting at my family table who's also become family to me, Mondo the Monster Medina. He worked with me on Sports Talk. He works on KLAQ. I get to see him from time to time when I stop in on that studio. And we broke into radio almost around the same time. And Mondo, you'll soon be up here doing this very same thing. Also, my wife, love of my life. Sometimes you meet somebody for the first time and you just know you're going to want to marry them. And I met her in 1997. She told me at a bar she loved my voice. It was something about my voice she loved. Again, all back to radio and sports. And married her 9 years later. We've been married now 7.5 years. And we have a beautiful 11-month baby boy named Joel, who is my father. And that's kind of where I wanted to wrap this up. 5 years ago, I was up on this podium accepting his honor into the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame in the posthumous category. It's kind of ironic. We lost my dad 9 years to the day today. So, but at the same time, you look back at all the great years and how much it means to me not only to be here with this great group of people in the Athletic Hall of Fame, but also getting a chance to be there with him at the Don Haskins Center, where I spent most of my life growing up watching UTEP basketball games as a fan and later as a member of the media. And I just want to tell my dad I love him. I think about him every day. And I just can't wait to be there with him in the Hall of Fame. Thank you all very much.